Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Akil and welcome to a special video for the channel, guys. Now, I'm doing this because one, I'm slowly nearing the end point of my channel, so don't unsubscribe just yet. And two, it's to make up for the lack of content. Like last year, for example, I looked on my channel and I put a Deadpool and Wolverine review in the end of July, and it wasn't until like September that I put up my next video, which was for Attack on Titan season 2, I believe, or season 3, whatever. Regardless, though, I want to make some more interesting type of content. Make my channel a little more versatile, have more variety, focus on other topics, but they won't be like the main focus of my channel. But I still want to do one of these videos monthly, once a month, around like middle of the month, not this time. This is just, the starting, because frankly, I was slowly trying to put together what I was going to say in this video. And as the title of the video says, we are talking about my future MCU slate from 2026 to 2037, guys. Sorry, 2026 to 2037. So 12 years of the MCU. I'm going to try my best to come up with the best possible slate. Now, some of these ideas are kind of just random and stuff, but honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. Now, before I get started, there are some things I want to mention. First of all, obviously, this is all just fun and speculative and stuff. It's just my opinion. I don't think half these things could come out. At the same time, I do believe half these things could come out. Maybe not in this order, but at the same time, I feel like they're all very likely in some ways. Number two, Armor Wars, the so-called Weekend Show, what else is that? Like the One Thing Strange Academy. Those are not included because I honestly don't think Marvel needs them at all. Armor Wars is far long gone already. Even though it's on hold and they said it could happen after Secret Wars, I still don't see any reason to. Frankly, the reason why I never included it also is because the next saga being the Mutant Saga, apparently it is. We still don't know if that's true or not, but I guess it is. What's the point, right? The Mutant Saga should be focused on the mutants while also focusing on other things. The cosmic stuff I would also like to see have some focus as well as the supernatural stuff as well. And maybe a bit of the Young Avengers stuff or Champions, whatever it's called. But regardless though, I never included them. Also, how I did it was 3 movies a year, 2 TV shows a year, and 2 special presentations a year. No animated projects because honestly I don't care about them. I don't know how many people do. And it's very hard to guess and figure out what should be animated or not. So there's that. So without any more time wasting, we're going to jump right into it. Oh yeah, and one more thing as well. I'm only talking about the unconfirmed projects. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking about Doomsday and Secret Wars, they have dates. These don't. So now that that's out of the way, let's begin. Boy, this is going to be a hell of a long journey, isn't it, guys? Alright, so let's start off with 2026, guys. So, first up, we have February 13th of 2026, next year, depending on when you're watching it, that is. And this might shock you. I don't think anything is coming out on this day. It is too close to release something on that day. There is no way in hell Marvel is going to rush it and put something out February 13th of next year. Do you know how soon that is for making a movie? That's cutting it very close. That's even closer than how close I thought it was for Fantastic Four. But no, this is almost a year out, and you're telling me they can put something out by then. I don't know. And no, it's not Armor Wars because apparently that's on hold, and they might release it after Secret Wars, even though I don't think they should, whatever. But regardless though, I think this should be saved for another date. So this is the first time I think in history Marvel's announced an untitled date and nothing's coming out. Actually, no, they've done that. They've changed dates before and scrapped dates, but I still don't think that this close Marvel's going to release something and make something and put it all together by February 13th of 2026. That's impossible, guys. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say impossible, but it's very, very unlikely. Unless they get Blade going, which I don't think they will. Speaking of Blade, however, November 6th of 2026, which, yes, as you can probably tell, I'm going through the movies first, then I'm going through the TV shows, then specials. I should have said that before, whatever. But anyway, Blade, I think, should come out November 6th of 2026, guys. There's a really good chance we get Blade end of next year, depending again when you're watching this. And the reason why is because apparently the script is in a good place now, and apparently they are ready to shoot mid to late this year, for Parenthood of this year. So it is very likely that we get Blade out by November next year. Which means 2026, we are going to get 4 MCU movies, guys. Actually, sorry, yeah, not for free, because I did say February 13th, there's nothing. But because there's still a date, if they still want to release something, they can. But for now, we have 4 MCU movies coming next year, but I only think 3 are coming out next year. Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, which we still don't know what it's called, and Blade. These are the 3 very likely candidates of the MCU movies coming out next year. I mean, 2 is already pretty much confirmed, right? So, there's that. And plus, let's be honest, we all knew that Spider-Man 4 would take that July date or sometime next year. Some people thought it would be this year. I would have loved it to come out this year, but I guess the strikes messed everything up, so there's that. Now, moving on the movies aside, let's talk about the shows coming out next year. And again, we're just talking about 2 shows per year, guys. So, first show will be Vision Quest. That's right. We already know this is kind of confirmed. They haven't publicly announced it yet, but this is one of those projects that I don't know why we need. I really don't care. However, I'm more interested in this than the Agatha show that came out, but frankly, I watched it because my brother's like, oh, what's wrong with you? It's an MCU thing. Why don't you care about it? You know, you've watched everything else in the MCU, except What If and I'm Group, that is. But yes, I watched it and it was alright. But Vision Quest, I don't know why we're getting. However, it's to end of the Wanda trilogy, I guess. So hopefully we get some answers to questions that we've been wondering, like, and wanting for quite some time now. AKA, one of them being, where the hell is Wanda? Will we find that out in Vision Quest? Who really knows? Also, speaking of Vision Quest, Ultron's back, and the actor, one of the actors from Iron Man 1 is going to be in it. So that's interesting. And yeah, I believe that's it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Vision Quest. Who knows if it's going to be good or not, but let's see what happens. If anything's given though, Paul Bettany has always crushed and always will crush playing the role of Vision. He is very underappreciated as that character in my opinion. So yeah, let's see what happens. I believe February 13 could actually be when Vision Quest comes out. Now, the next and other TV show of 2026, in my opinion, should be Hawkeye Season 2. This makes a lot of sense. For one, we've been hearing a bunch of Hawkeye Season 2 news for the past couple months. In case you aren't aware, they've said that they might make a like one location type show and also introduce the brother. Now, there is a problem with this show right now, and the season 2, and that's Haley Steinfeld. She recently got engaged at the end of last year, and I'm very happy for her, I would say. And that could affect the show because, for one, she's probably going to get married this year. And 2, the honeymoon could affect the shooting schedule of Hawkeye Season 2. And 3, let's not forget, she has to also record her voice for Beyond the Spider-Verse. So, this show has a very big asterisk next to it, like Thunderbolts, but for a different reason. In the sense that we don't know if it's actually going to come out next year or not. But I would love a Hawkeye Season 2. Maybe just one more season. I did not include a Hawkeye Season 3 because frankly, I don't know what you could do in the Season 3. Maybe make it more about Kate Bishop, because Season 2 could be like fully passing on the mantle of the character from Queen Barton to Kate Bishop. And Season 3 just about Kate Bishop. But it's called Hawkeye, so I would still want it to be about Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye show, aka the character of Hawkeye and Queen Barton. But nevertheless, Hawkeye Season 2, my prediction is late 2026. Much like when Season 1 came out, late 2021. And it would have been a whole 5 years since Season 1 came out. So a lot of time has passed. Hopefully, people will not have forgotten that show, which I don't. I love that show personally. I don't care. Now, next we go into the special presentations. And oh my god, if these 2 do not happen at all, I would be so mad. Because these 2 have been rumored for years now. I can't believe we've heard nothing about these 2 specials at all. Like, from Feige in general. Like, what is happening with these special presentations in general? It's like people forgot about them. It's like they were a thing in 2022 and then, okay, that's it, moving on by. I loved Werewolf by Night. I liked the Guardians holiday special. So you're telling me we're not gonna get more of them? Why? 2 years later, we still have got nothing. This year, I don't think we're gonna get any. We got far too much Marvel this year. 9 projects. That's a lot, including 3 animated projects. So 6 live action, 3 animated. That's a lot. But next year, I think even with maybe 4 movies, but 3 movies for sure, 2 shows, so that's already 5, and then 2 specials, that's 7 altogether. And I think 2022 was the most well-rounded year. That's how they should do it. 3 movies, 3 shows, instead of, well, close to 2, but still, and 2 specials. That is by far the best year for Marvel in terms of just most well-rounded content, because he has shows, movies, and specials, and it wasn't like a crazy number, unlike in 2021 when you had 4 movies, 5 shows, and yeah, that's it. But still, oh yeah, and I'm Groot also came out 2022, right? Yeah. Anyways, for special presentations, I think they should be released like the shows, one at the start of the year, one at the end of the year. So first up for specials next year in 2026, Silver Surfer. I mean, come on. If this does not happen, I'll be very, very upset, guys. Norrin Rad will not be in the Fantastic Four movie this year. So I think a special about him makes complete sense. We've been hearing about this for years now. Come on, Marvel, give us a Silver Surfer special. We all know you want it. Feige, please. This is something the fans want. As for when it should come out, like I said, early next year. I don't care when it is, but still. Maybe before, like, the summer. I don't know. But I would love to see a Surfer special presentation. Then the other one, maybe around Halloween time, Mephisto. Yes, yes, yes. Marvel, please. If Mephisto is apparently going to show up in Ironheart, apparently, give him his own special. It would make complete sense for this dude to get his own special and set him up as the big bad of the supernatural mini saga, if you will, of the MCU. And I say mini because it's not getting its own saga, unfortunately, but still, I would love Mephisto to get his own special presentation come next year, late next year, around maybe Halloween, October, September, around that time. Pretty much around the time when Werewolf by Night came out as well. Alright, now we go into 2027. And again, I'm skipping over like the confirmed movies and stuff, even though we only know one's coming out. But we have 2 dates for 2027. First up, July 23rd, 2027. I'm going with Shang-Chi 2. Now look, I totally get it. Shang-Chi 2 should have come out already. But because of the strikes and everything that's happened in the world and stuff, and shifting dates and schedules and actors' availabilities and stuff, we can't get Shang-Chi 2 ASAP. So we are only going to get Shang-Chi 2 in almost pretty much roughly around 2.5 years from now. That is crazy, guys. That come July of 2027, it would have been, get this, almost 6 years, almost 6 whole years since the first Shang-Chi came out. Wow, that is shocking. I don't know why, but for some reason, the MCU sucks at releasing sequels so close to their first film. Like, do you guys remember back sorry guys, I'm talking too much already, but do you guys remember back in the day when we got like Iron Man in 2008, Iron Man 2 in 2010? That was like 2 years, and that was rushed. It should have come out in 2011, but still. And then somehow in 2013, well, not somehow, but in 2013, somehow we got Iron Man 3. And I'm saying somehow as well, I guess you could say, because, you know, Avengers came out a year before and RDJ was in that movie. It's the same for Civil War. That felt like an Avengers movie and came out a year after Age of Ultron. Like, how does that happen? How? Like, it's not just in terms of sequels, but actors' availability. Like, Shang-Chi, we've only seen the guy once in like 3 years now. I don't understand this at all. And you're telling me that we're supposed to kind of root for the guy in Doomsday? No. And Secret Wars? No. Which is why Secret Wars should not be 2 movies. I mean, 1 movie. Secret Wars should be 2 movies. And I'll get to it when I get to it. But for now, all I'm going to say is that Shang-Chi 2, July 23rd, 2027. This better make the date. Now, November 5th, 2027, Doctor Strange 3. If this also does not come out in 2027, I'll be shocked. And I think what they should do is have Doctor Strange and Queer show up in Secret Wars, and the audience has to kind of figure out, wait, what? What about the post-credit scene? And this kind of ties into the events of that. Now, I saw a YouTuber called Everything Always say that they should not do prequels and stuff. I totally get it. But Black Widow was a totally different case. That would release far too late. This isn't that big of a gap, because if Secret Wars comes out in May and this comes out in November, this would only be 6 months later. So it's not like it's a big gap between, the sequel to Doctor Strange 3 being, in this case, Secret Wars, and the prequel to Secret Wars, in this case, being Doctor Strange 3, which this film should be a prequel to Secret Wars. Because I don't even know when they could release it. There's no date before Secret Wars, but after Spider-Man 4, as well, like, what else can they do, right? They're not gonna put it out next year. There's no way. That's insane. They're not gonna rush it out. So, I think Shang-Chi 2 and Doctor Strange 3 should come out in 2027 and take up those July and November dates, because frankly it makes a lot of sense. Now, in terms of TV shows, for the 2 shows I got in 2027, first is Champions. This is the Young Avengers show that apparently that's the new name now. I don't like it, but whatever. I had to search it up because apparently Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, said in the comics that's what she knows the team by. And yeah, that is true. There is a team called Champions. I was thinking of Contest of Champions, the game, but nope. This is the actual team in the comics as well. And I believe Spider-Man's on it and Nova. So I guess this is their version of the Young Avengers. But I would have preferred the name Young Avengers. It sounds a little bit bad. Champion sounds a little more generic. I'm sorry. But so does Young Avengers. But this should be a show, because half these characters have been introduced as shows or are getting shows. Ironheart's getting a show. Miss Marvel was introduced as a show. She already has her own show. Kate Bishop was introduced through the Hawkeye show. The only characters that weren't were Riri. Well, she's getting a show, but still. America Chavez and Cassie Wang. That's it. We can also through a show as well. And Hulkling as well. So, Champions, I think early 2027 at most. And putting it in between Secret Wars Part 1, Part 2. Again, we'll get to Secret Wars Part 2 when we get to it. Don't you worry. I think makes sense. Because apparently there was a rumor at one point saying that it could be like a mini Battle World saga between some of these Avengers movies. And this would make a lot of sense. The heroes are scattered and separated, and these heroes come together. But I would like this to come out before Secret Wars, maybe like in February or March, kind of like how Daredevil is coming out March of this year, to kind of, show, okay, this is how these heroes come together, and it therefore leads them into, the events of Secret Wars. So there's that. Now, the other show for 2027 is Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And I think this show should take their time. They should not rush it out. They should wait and see how Season 1 does. And then, only then, should they start working on Season 2. I don't understand why they're already talking about Season 3. I get it. I mean, I want more Daredevil. I love that character in the original show. But we have to see how Season 1 does. Right, guys? So, I don't think they should put it out 2026. It's a little too soon. I think end of 2027. 2.5 years later. So, yeah. That's also kind of like how Loki did it, right? Like, we got Loki Season 1 mid-2021 and end of 2023. Like, roughly around 2.5 years later, we got Season 2. So, yeah. And Daredevil Born Again should follow that same kind of structure and formula. Maybe not very late 2027, but maybe like August or September, if that kind of makes sense. Alright, now, special presentations for 2027. First up, Kuya. This would be perfect. This would bring up to speed everything we need to know about the character. Let's say Doctor Strange 3 doesn't have much time to focus on the character too much. We need to know who she is, and where she kind of came from, and a bit of her powers, a bit of her origin story. I think this is needed. A perfect Kuya special presentation. 100% we need it. I don't care how long it is. I mean, don't make it too long, right? It's supposed to be a special, but this would make so much sense. So Marvel, Feige, please, whatever you do, give us a Kuya special. I don't care, like, how long it is. I feel like we need it. It just makes sense. And that's the thing, right? I feel like these specials have to, enhance and boost up, like the character and character development overall and screen time so that we actually understand who the character is. The thing about the MCU now, it feels like there's so many characters, it's really hard to latch onto one. So I feel like this would be the best way to do it. Like Werewolf by Night, we never saw the guy until that special. When we see him again, at least we know who he is. Even though there might be talks of a sequel, but I don't know. And speaking of like Werewolf by Night dark characters, I already talked about Mephisto before. Don't expect like a bunch of supernatural characters to get their own specials, but another special I want in 2027 is Ghost Rider. This has been one that's also been rumored to death. We've been hearing about Ghost Rider for years now. Apparently there's a new report that just came in saying that we're going to see him come very soon in the MCU, and I want him to be in the MCU by 2027. I don't care in what way it is. I want to see the guy in the MCU by at least 2027. It's possible. It's very possible. And no, I'm not talking about Nicolas Cage as a cameo in Secret Wars. That does not count. We need Johnny Blaze, new actor in the MCU, or the other iteration of Ghost Rider. But I personally am more familiar with Johnny Blaze, so there's that. But come on, guys, 2027, it's possible. Make it happen, Marvel and Feige, please. Alright, now we go into 2028, the final year of the multiverse saga. Wow, it feels weird saying that already. Like, it's already almost over, but at the same time, all good things must come to an end, even though it's been kind of a mixed bag, right? Let's be honest, this has not been hit after hit after hit. Pretty much almost like how the Infinity Saga was, guys. But anyway, let's start off talking about 2028 first with the movies. And February 18, 2028, the third last day. We got 3 dates in 2027. My apologies. But February 18, 2028, the third last date. I think this should be Thor 5. They've been talking about Thor 5 a lot recently as well. They are not going to put Thor 5 in 2027. No, I think this should come out in between Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2, which again, I'll get to right after this actually, the next movie. I think Thor 5 should be one of those films in the Multiverse Saga to kind of slowly wrap things up. Plus, I don't even know and think Thor is going to be in these movies at all, because I feel like he should be, but he should not have the biggest role. I feel like Thor 5 is where you maybe kill off or end off his character, write off his character, whatever. I also want this to be more about Thor than Jane. Please make this more about Thor than Jane. Also, this movie should be the darkest Thor film yet. Because if you are going to write off or kill off his character, you need to go balls to the wall crazy. So have Hercules fight Thor in a very bloody way. Better Bill, should be a dark character. I don't care what you do. Make it different. And I really hope whoever they hire, if it's George Miller or not, regardless, that they go absolutely dark and crazy. Don't go dark for the sake of it, but just make it feel like intense. Not like what we got in Love and Thunder, where it was just there but barely there, if that kind of makes sense. Now, May 5th of 2028. This is where I go with Secret Wars Part 2 as the title card or the logo you're seeing on screen right now. It says Avengers Forever. I guess you could call it that. That's one of the trademarks that was leaked and rumored a long time ago, or well, like a year or two ago now. But I actually don't mind this title, but I'm still calling it Secret Wars Part 2 because I feel like Secret Wars should be 2 parts, guys. I don't care what anyone says, it should be. There's no way they're ending out of in just one movie. Because just think about it, right? Doomsday in itself is going to be very Doctor Doom centric. With the Avengers, of course, kind of like Infinity War. Had the Avengers there, but it was very Thanos centric. Doomsday is going to be like that too. Where it will really be, I think it will really be RDJ's movie. But the Avengers would be there as well. And then Secret Wars will have all these cameos and stuff. And then Secret Wars Part 2, I think what they should do is still have the cameos there, but focus more on the, OG kind of Avengers, the legacy characters, So maybe Mark Ruffalo, Chris Hemsworth, and Jeremy Renner, it's their movie alongside Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, and RDJ, One last hurrah for these characters, and then that's it. Or you could do the other way around, whatever. But I think Secret Wars should be 2 movies, which means we're going to get an Avengers trilogy to wrap up the multiverse saga. So, there's that. And speaking of Multiverse Saga, there are two other projects that I want to include before it ends. So one is a TV show, and that is Nova. We've been hearing about Nova quite a lot as well. Feige even talked about it. It's going to be a show, and I cannot wait. I've been waiting patiently to see Nova in the MCU. Ever since, I don't know, 2019 or something. Ever since I read the Annihilation stuff. That storyline is awesome, and Nova is by far my favorite Marvel cosmic hero in general. I love him more than Star-Lord. I love him more than any of the other Guardians of the Galaxy members. I love him more than Adam Warlock. And actually no, maybe Silver Surfer. I forgot my ranking of like superheroes. I did a ranking of top 100 superheroes, which that is a video also I probably will do as well for the channel. But anyway, Nova as a show, yes, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I would have loved to see Nova get a movie. But still, it'll be interesting to see what they do with this show, because apparently Annihilus is in it, which that in itself is wild that we're already jumping into Annihilus this early, you know. Like, I thought the story build it up for like an Annihilation Saga stuff, which, by the way, after the Mutant Saga, I think they should do the Cosmic Saga. I don't care what anyone says, they should. Anyway, Nova, early 2028, because Feige said next 3 to 4 years is when we could see that show coming out. So, I'm going with 2028, early that year. And then, we go to the special presentation to come out early in 2028. And this should not end up the Multiverse Saga, because I think that should be Secret Wars Part 2 or Avengers Forever, if you want to call it that. But this should come out early that year, maybe in January, because this special is going to be Hercules. We need this. We definitely need this, Marvel. Please, Feige. Much like Kuya getting her own special, we need this. What I said for Kuya, I'll say the same thing here. It could make us actually understand where this character is coming from, why he is the way he is, his relationship with his father as well. I feel like the actor also plays him. What's his name? I forgot the actor's name. He's also in Tadwa, so I don't watch, but I know he's in it. I saw him interview Denis Villeneuve recently. That was a great interview. But yeah, I feel like he would also love to play this character more than just, you know, Thor 5, beyond Thor 5 even. So, Hercules getting his own special does not seem out of the question. I want a Hercules special. I feel like it needs to happen. Put it January and release Thor 5 February. That is perfect. So now people know who Hercules is. And if people don't watch it, well, that's on them. But at the same time, I feel like it could add more. You know what I mean? It could add more. So that's what I would do. But that is all the Multiverse Saga done, guys. Now we get into the Mutant Saga. And I'm starting the Mutant Saga actually at the end of 2028. Because there is no way Marvel's just going to wait until 2029 to do it. No. They're going to start off right off the bat. Because Feige did say, after Secret Wars, it's going to lead apparently directly into the mutant stuff. So that's why November 10, 2028, the last unconfirmed Marvel date that has been announced, that we don't know what's coming out that date. November 10, 2028, I would love to believe that this is X-Men. If Marvel ends up this Multiverse Saga in 2028, November of that year should be X-Men. November 10, I should say, of that year should be X-Men. If they end it off in 2027, November 5th should be X-Men. Whatever it may be, I think that last spot, that last date of an untitled, unconfirmed MCU film for the year, untitled Marvel Studios film, it should be X-Men. This is the only possible way they could do it. Because, you know, Secret Wars, it's this crazy big storyline, and then, boom, you lead directly into a new universe, and that's why X-Men comes in just 6 months after Secret Wars Part 2, or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, 6 months? Yeah, around there, 6-7 months. Anyway, so instead of starting off fresh in 2029, a whole new year, I'm ending off 2028 with X-Men. Now, there are two projects I also want to be part of the end of 2028, but also starting off the Mutant Saga. One of them is Moon Knight Season 2. And even though X-Men will kick off the Mutant Saga, I think this should come up before X-Men. Because these two projects, or these three projects coming out roughly around the same time might seem a little much. So I think this should come out either September or October. So technically this will start off the mutant saga, much like how a show started off the multiverse saga, and that show is Moon Knight season 2. I think Moon Knight season 2 needs to be the first show of the mutant saga. I know some people might say Miss Marvel season 2, that's so fine, but come on, Moon Knight came out first, so logically that makes sense, right? I know it would be such a long wait and gap between season 1 and 2, but honestly, I think Moon Knight season 2 could kind of be like a soft reboot in a way, since it's also part of a new saga. I would still love to see Oscar Isaac back as a character. In fact, they are still talking about season 2, I believe, with him. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, I want a Moon Knight season 2, so start of the Moon Knight, not the Moon Knight saga, the Mutant Saga with Moon Knight season 2. Alright, and then the first special presentation of the Mutant Saga. This could come out maybe in December after this movie or before, but I personally think after, right after. Maybe even a week or two after, because the first special presentation of the Mutant Saga, I'm going with Cyclops. Yeah, we're really going in with the mutants, guys. I don't care what anyone says, but Cyclops, who is the leader of the X-Men movie, who I think will be in this movie. It does not feel right having an X-Men movie without the man himself, Cyclops, who is and always will be the face of the X-Men when it comes to, like, you know, being the most badass character there is. I know that's Wolverine, don't get me wrong, and Professor X, but he is the leader. He should be the face of the X-Men, not Wolverine. Fox did not understand that X-Men is not a Wolverine show. It's supposed to be an everyone show. But no, they made him like Iron Man in the MCU, made him the POV character in a way. I think Cyclops should be that POV character, but also Wolverine just second behind him. But Cyclops needs to get a special presentation because I don't think he deserves a movie or a show. I think a special makes complete sense. And that's why you will notice a bunch of these X-Men characters that I go through as we keep going on. This slate, this list of MCU projects that I want to see happen or could happen, whatever. Anyway, I'm including a bunch of X-Men team members, I would say, because I don't think they deserve movies or shows. I feel like there's not enough story there, so that's why special could work perfectly. Give Cyclops a special. We understand how he got his powers. That's perfect. All right, now 2029, the first fully fleshed out year of the Mutant Saga. And again, remember, 3 movies, 2 TV shows, and 2 specials. So, first movie of 2029. We've heard quite a bit about this as well. Well, not a lot, but definitely a bit. Especially from Denzel Washington. Black Panther 3. Released this in February. That's perfect. Boom. You got your money right there. And just end of the trilogy. We don't need a Black Panther 4. Yeah, I don't know how else you could do it besides releasing Black Panther 3 in February. But just do it. No, not 2028. I think 2029. I still think it's a little too early to get a Black Panther 3, but 2029 is not that bad. So, yeah. This should be the second movie of the Mutant Saga, guys. Yes. Right after X-Men, boom, we get this. And who knows, Storm could show up in here. It's very likely she could, because now we know that Marvel has all the rights to the Fox characters. So, yeah. I would be happy with that. I mean, it feels weird that, you know, T'Challa's not in it because T'Challa and Storm kind of have a relationship, right? So, it'll be interesting to see what they do if they do use Storm. Now, second movie and for the Mutant Saga in 2029. And I took, I guess, the same kind of similar approach for the most part, even though I did kind of change it up a little bit later on. But I wanted to have at least one mutant-related project or movie in every year, basically. I'm already stumbling on my words. Sorry, guys. But anyway, the middle project of the Mutant Saga years should be a Mutant Saga movie. So, basically, Black Panther 3 is not really a Mutant Saga related thing, even though Storm could be in it. Then the second movie should be a very mutant-heavy movie. And then the last movie can be, again, whatever it wants. And I know it feels weird saying that and doing that, whereas I could do the other way around, because it's called the Mutant Saga, but frankly, there's still a lot going on in the MCU that needs to be explained. So that's why I want the old characters. Sorry if you could hear the doorbell ring, by the way. I apologize. But anyway, I want stuff with the old characters to have much more of a focus. Just much as a focus as well as the new characters as well. If that kind of makes sense. Sorry, I'm really just mumbling on here. I apologize. But anyway, second movie of 2029, I'm going with Scarlet Witch. This is one we've also had as well, so it's not out of the question. I feel like Scarlet Witch deserves her own movie, so why not give it to her? Put this in May. It makes money. I don't care. Whatever. Alright, now, 2029. The last movie of that year. Spider-Man 5. Put this on July, November, December. Again, I don't care, but the best way to end up 2029 is with a Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. Or whatever year it is. Yeah. Spider-Man 5. Yeah. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home came out December 2021. Spider-Man 4 is coming out July 2026. That is 4.5 years later. If Spider-Man 5 comes out 2029 and Spider-Man 4 comes out July 2026, this would be 3 to 3.5 years later. That is a small gap between Spider-Man 3 and 4. So, therefore, why not release Spider-Man 5 earlier? I mean, you could release Spider-Man 5 in 2028 even, but nah, that's too soon. So, I think this is the best way you should do it, guys. I really, really think so. So, Spider-Man 5, end of 2029, boom, there you go. Now, let's talk about the 2 TV shows, and already my mouth's starting to hurt. So, I'm just going to try my best to fly through these quickly without spending too much time. I already wasted quite a bit of time. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry. But anyway, 4 TV shows in 2029. First, Punisher Season 1. I feel like this makes a lot of sense. There have been talks, so give him his own show. Next up, Miss Marvel Season 2. This also makes sense. She's also a mutant. Being a TV show in the Mutant Saga makes sense, right? So, give her a second season, and instead of calling it Miss Marvel Season 2, just call it Miss Marvel 2, like the logo in front of you on the screen says. You know, kind of make it a bit like a soft reboot, make it more mutant heavy, so there you go. Now, special presentations. First, Jean Grey. She should also be in the first X-Men movie, so give her own special. And then, the other one, Warlock. Because of what's coming up in 2030, which we'll get to now. And speaking of 2030, let's talk about the 3 movies first. First up, Eternals 2. I don't care what anyone says, we need Eternals 2. Put it in the Mutant Saga though, not in the Multiverse Saga. Put it in the Mutant Saga, because that way it could feel very different to what Eternals 1 was, which that itself already did not have really anything to do with the Multiverse Saga, but whatever. Anyway, we need an Eternals 2. I don't care what anyone says. I loved that first movie. Deal with it. If you didn't, that's fine. It's your opinion. Cool. Alright. Next movie of 2030. Wolverine. This is the perfect way to start up the summer movie season. Put out a Wolverine movie in May. There you go. That's all your money done. And then to end off the summer, Guardians of the Galaxy 4. Now you understand why I did a Warlock special presentation. Specifically, Adam Warlock, I should say. Well, it's because of this. I could have done his special this in 2030 itself, but nah. I did it earlier so that, you know, at least, let's just say that, you know, it's a bit more of a build up, and you can at least kind of rewatch it a couple more times and be like, oh, okay, I like this character and all that. And frankly, I feel like these 2 specials make more sense to come on 2030 than a Warlock. I mean, I could replace Warlock and actually put it in 2030 itself, but I decided to change it up just a little bit to make it a little more interesting and unexpected. So instead of doing the obvious thing and putting Warlock in 2030, I put it in 2029, the year before. However, the specials, which we'll get to when we get to, are very, you know, let's just say cool and awesome and interesting. But first, let's talk about the TV shows. Nova Season 2. Yep, I feel like this needs to happen. We're already getting Season 1 at some point, so why not a Season 2? And then Daredevil Season 3, which honestly, I feel like after Season 3, that's enough. Much like how MCU films series should stop at 3 and then kind of do its own little thing after that. Even Guardians of the Galaxy 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy 4. It should be called like the New Guardians or whatever. Then basically, you know, it should just be a trilogy of films and a free season show. I'm just again rambling on, guys. I really apologize. This is all coming from the top of my head, but I got the list of stuff on my phone next to me, so I do know what to say. But anyway, Nova Season 2 and Daredevil Born Again Season 3 for 2030. Now, special presentations. Here we go. Beast and Jessica Jones. Because I think Beast should be in the first X-Men movie if they want to go to the classic X-Men team route. And Jessica Jones. Because there's a big chance we see her, not in Season 1, but in Season 2. And then in Season 3, we could see even more. And then boom, she gets her own special. Not her own show or movie, but I feel like a special is enough for the character. Plus, let's be honest, Kristen Ritter wants to come back. She even said it herself, so let's just give her a special and everyone will be happy. Alright, 2031. First movie, Fantastic Four 2. This makes a lot of sense. We already know it's kind of confirmed. I don't know. I feel like a Fantastic Four trilogy is definitely going to happen. Speaking of trilogies, X-Men 2. Boom, nice way to kick off the summer, right? And nice way to end up the year with Blade 2. Aha, there it is, guys. Yes. So 2026 we'll get Blade 1 and 2031 we'll get Blade 2. 5 years, I know, but still. Trust me when I say this, I feel like the wait will be worth it. Let's hope the first movie delivers though. Alright. TV shows for 2031. First up, Champion Season 2 / Young Avengers Season 2. Yes, we need more time with these characters, guys. Speaking of which, Miss Marvel Season 2. I feel like Champion Season 2 could lead directly into Miss Marvel not Season 2, Miss Marvel Season 3. And yes, as you could probably guess and tell, the gap is smaller and shorter between seasons for Miss Marvel. Alright, and then special presentations. Iceman? Gosh, she should definitely be in one of these X-Men movies. 1 or 2. And then Dr. Voodoo, because of what's coming in 2032. Which, speaking of which, let's now talk about 2032. And this now brings us to Phase 8. So we talked about Phase 7 already, guys. Phase 7 started off with the X-Men movie, even though it was technically Moon Knight Season 2. And ends off in 2031. So 2029, 2030, and 2031. 3 years, that's enough, I feel like. Now, the next 3 years, 2032, 2033, and 2034, should be Phase 8, in my opinion. And Phase 8 starts off movie-wise with Shang-Chi 3, releasing early that year. And then the middle of the year, or the middle movie, second movie of 2032, Deadpool 4 or Deadpool and Wolverine 2. Because apparently Hugh Jackman might be staying on longer than we thought. And then final movie of 2032, Midnight Suns. I know it's a very long way away from now, but they should slowly build up to this to make it more impactful. End of the year with a Midnight Suns movie. There you go. That's how you do it, I feel like. And then TV shows for 2032. First up, Punisher Season 2. I feel like Punisher should also get his own free season show. Speaking of free seasons, a TV show ends off in 2032, that being Nova with Nova Season 3. And then special presentations. First, Elsa Bloodstone. Yes, we need a special there because, frankly, she was an awesome character in Werewolf by Night. And considering that she will probably be in Midnight Suns, even though it's called Suns, not Suns with a U, Suns with an O, if you know what I mean. I mean, she's in the comics and team and the comic cover, whatever. Anyway, if she's going to be in the team, we need to know a bit more about her. Speaking of which, Man-Thing. Man-Thing shows to get his own special presentation as well. The dude would have been around for almost a decade, if not a decade by the time. So yeah, give him his own special. Alright, 2033. Starting off the year strong. Captain America 5. Just like how we're getting a Captain America movie in February, same for this year as well. And I think this movie should be about Bucky and Sam. Because, let's face it, we're not just going to get Captain America Brave New World and that's it. And I know, it would have been a very long time since Brave New World came out because this is 2033, 8 years later. What has happened? Frankly, I would like to see maybe Bucky take on the role of Cap if, Falcon decides, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. Plus, there's a rumor that apparently he might as well, I don't know. But still, I want this to be about Bucky and Sam teaming up together. I don't know why, I feel like that's the best way you could do Captain America 5. And then, next movie of 2033, Wolverine 2. Continuing on his trilogy of the character. And 2033, movie-wise, ends up with Spider-Man 6. So boom, the college trilogy, or whatever you want to call it, is done. So now we have 6 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. He's finally done. He can slowly move on to other things as well. But no, don't you worry. There's still going to be more Spider-Man. Just wait, guys. Just you wait. Alright, TV shows in 2033. First, Moon Knight Season 3. Yep, there's a big gap. I don't care, but it needs to happen to end of the show. And then, New Mutants. Yes, a New Mutant show would be amazing in the Mutant Saga. Can you imagine that? Can you? Or should I say, could you imagine that? Alright, special presentations. First, Storm. This needs to happen. We need a Storm special presentation. As you can probably already guess, I'm focusing on some of the more popular X-Men characters that, again, don't need movies or shows because, frankly, they don't have enough story behind them. Storm would be dope as a movie. Maybe even as a show, but a special would be awesome, I think, for her. And then Magic. Because of New Mutants, she's going to be in it. She could probably lead it. Give her own special. Now, 2034, the final year of Phase 9. Oh, sorry, Phase 8. I'm really jumping all over the place, aren't I, guys? Starting off the year strong with Fantastic Four 3, ending of that trilogy. Then X-Men 3, ending of that trilogy. Because I don't think we need more than 3 X-Men movies. I think it's enough to tell the story. If we can get 3 Guardians movies, we can definitely get 3 X-Men movies, guys. Even though we're going to get more, but that's a new version of the team. I mean, it's not like we're not going to see, like, the X-Men later on, but still. And then, Guardians 5. What did I just say? Speaking of Guardians 5, yeah. To continue on, and their story, the new Guardians trilogy storyline. So, yeah. And then TV shows for 2034. First, Punisher Season 3, yep, to end of his show. And then, Namor, because he's a mutant, and I want them to acknowledge it. We know that Miss Marvel is a mutant, but I don't believe we ever once heard the word mutant in Wakanda Forever, unless I'm mistaken. Alright, now, special presentations for 2034. First up, Nightcrawler, because of, obvious reasons, him being an X-Men member. And then, Flyla Vel, or however you pronounce the name. Basically, the little girl who was in Guardians 3, who was also at the end part of the team as well. Her name is Flyla Vel, I believe. That's how I pronounce it. She should get her own special because she will be a lot older now. And hopefully she actually does stuff and not just there just for the sake of it. And they just added her just because why not? I feel like James Gunn intentionally did that. Now, I would like Flyla Vel to get a special because it would, let's just say again, give her more screen time so we actually know a bit more about the character. And I think that special is, again, you can see who the character is and where they came from, what they're about. I know I'm really repeating stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I'm very all over the place. And I keep apologizing because, again, this is all from the top of my head. Anyway, Phase 9. Phase 9, the final phase of the Mutant Saga. 2035 starts off with World War Hulk. I know, World War Hulk coming out this late is very, very risky because people want this movie now. But I think we have a lot to slowly get to get to World War Hulk. So, yeah, World War Hulk should be kind of an event film. A lot of characters should be in this movie even. So, why not put it towards the end of the Mutant Saga? Also, doesn't this ring a bell of starting off the third phase of a saga? The first movie of the third phase of a saga being kind of a big event film. Well, a lot of characters in it. Yeah, feels like Civil War, doesn't it? What do you know? So yeah, I guess it's kind of intentional, but at the same time, it's also coincidence that happened. No joke, I never even planned for that. But now that I think about it, it makes sense if I'm going to do it like that. Then, another mutant type of thing, but also leading to the next saga, which should be the Cosmic Saga, and that is Inhumans. Yes, give them a chance, please, Marvel and Feige, please. I heard the show sucked ass, but come on, an Inhumans movie would be awesome. You wanted to do it before, so now is your chance to do it, right? And then, 2035, movie-wise, should end off with Blade 3, to end off his trilogy. Alright, TV shows. First up, New Mutants Season 2. We need a New Mutants Season 2. One season of New Mutants is not enough. And then, Champion Season 3 to end of their show. And then special presentations. First, Black Bolt and Medusa. Yes, 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 please, Marvel. This would be amazing. Black Bolt does not speak. Medusa speaks. They have a very strong relationship for what I can tell in the comics from what I've read as well. The little bit I've read of them and their relationship. I would love both of them, this Marvel couple, to get a special presentation. Why? Because it just makes sense. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of specials that people pitch are just random stuff, which don't worry, the random stuff is coming. Oh boy, is it coming. But I want some of the more important stuff to also be there first. And then kind of end off the saga in a bit of a fun, light-hearted way, I would say. Anyway, besides Black Bolt and Medusa, another special in 2035 should be, or could potentially be, Wolf's Bane. She is a new mutant member, so there you go. Alright, 2026, another Hulk film starting off the year. Hulk versus Wolverine, or Wolverine versus Hulk, whatever you want to call it. This would be awesome. We've heard quite a bit about this as well. I want this to happen, so yeah. Also, make this Mark Ruffalo versus the new Wolverine, not Hugh Jackman, even though I want that too. And speaking of Wolverine, this could lead directly into Wolverine 3, the third and final Wolverine film in the Wolverine trilogy for the MCU. Yeah, imagine that. 2 Wolverine trilogy success. Wow, that's awesome. Hopefully this is a lot better though. And hopefully this is not like Logan. I want this trilogy to not have an origin Wolverine and Logan type of movie. I want the movies to actually feel and distinct and unique. And then, ending of 2036 movie-wise, Midnight Suns 2. I feel like this deserves a trilogy. There's a lot of other supernatural Marvel characters that could be part of the team. Now, TV shows. This is where I start to get a little more creative. So first, Namor Season 2. Because again, like I said, seasons should be like film trilogies. They should get 3 seasons. And then the other show, Captain Britain. I feel like Captain Britain is due for an MCU debut. But I decided to put him towards the end of the mutant saga because he's not really a mutant. So, there you go. And I feel like we could see a lot of Captain Britain, even though it'll be very cosmic saga heavy. But he could be one of the key players on Earth. So, that's why I'm introducing him towards the end of the mutant saga. Speaking of which, special presentations. First up, Squirrel Girl. Yeah, come on. I mean, it's gonna happen, right? At some point, Feige's gonna get up on that stage and announce Squirrel Girl, and people will be like, what the hell are you talking about? Yep. So, 2036. I know it's a long way away, more than a decade off, but trust me when I say it, I will not be surprised if before I turn 40 or 45, 50, whatever, we get Squirrel Girl in the MCU. And another character, Union Jack. Union Jack is the opposite of Captain Britain. I believe he's the villain, so, you know, want to give him a special. He seems like a cool, interesting looking character, so yeah. And then, finally, 2037. Wow, oh boy, there's a lot here, isn't there? Anyway, for movies, first up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 6. Or New Guardians 3, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I think this should be the way to end off the mutant saga, but ending off this trilogy as well. And speaking of franchises coming to an end, and, well, not really trilogies, this has been one of the biggest things rumored in the MCU for quite a while now. And now it looks like it could actually happen. And it will actually happen at the end of the mutant saga. In fact, a big rumor going around now is that M. Night Shyamalan might be directing this film, which is insane if that happens. But anyway, I'm talking about Avengers vs. X-Men. This is the most likely way they will end off the mutant saga. There's no other way about it. They could do whatever X-Men film they want, but the only way they should end off the mutant saga is by this. Even though I don't think it should be the last film. We need an epilogue film. You know, we do need an epilogue film, even though Secret Wars Part 2 was the final film, and there's no epilogue film after that, but still, I mean, I did say that there should be a Hercules special presentation, but that should come up before Thor and Nova. Maybe Nova could be the epilogue thing, but no, not really. But here, the epilogue film is actually going to be another Spider-Man movie, but not Spider-Man 7, Miles Morales. Yes, guys, we have heard rumors of this too. I'm just going based on all the rumors at this point. But anyway, I want Miles in the MCU. And what a way to end off the mutant saga by starting off, well, not starting off, by introducing a fresh new face to the MCU, much like Captain Britain, that being Miles Morales. Tom should be in this movie and have a cameo. Boom, there you go. Now, TV shows. New Mutant Season 3 to end off the New Mutants storyline. Nice way to end off the mutant saga as well. And this could lead directly into Avengers vs. X-Men where they show up. And then the other one, Starjammers. This is a weird one, but Starjammers, 1, ties into the Cosmic Saga, so it's a perfect segue. And 2, They are X-Men related type characters. They showed up in the original X-Men show. I don't remember seeing them in 97, so there's that. And then for special presentations, I went very crazy here. Dazzler. I feel like Dazzler getting a special in the Mutant Saga would not be that crazy, guys. I mean, she's tied to the X-Men, right? So there's that. I mean, I don't really know her that well. I mean, I know that she sings, but that's really it. Also, if Taylor Swift plays Dazzler, that would be absolutely insane. But they would strike gold with that casting right now. Oh yeah, speaking of Taylor Swift and stuff, Blonde Phantom, I did not include because I honestly don't know why they're doing that, if that's true or not. But anyway, besides Dazzler, Venom. This would be perfect to end off this saga as well. Imagine ending off the Mutant Saga with a Venom special, making people go, are we going to see more Venom? Yeah, I feel like Venom should be in the Mutant Saga, but right towards the end, like Miles Morales, because it would show that, okay, we're moving towards a new direction for the MCU. And that's why I put like characters like Captain Britain and all these guys towards the end. Even someone like Namor too in a way. And even the Inhumans, they are cosmic characters, but they're also mutant characters. So there you go, guys. But guys, that is it. Wow, there's a lot here to unpack. I'm sorry if I was speaking too fast or too slow or rambling on, but guys, this is how I would do the next 12 years of Marvel Studios. Man, there's a lot here to unpack. I'm sorry, but I try my best to make it easy to understand, and hopefully you guys follow along and watch the whole video. If you have, then that's great. My voice is gone. It's destroyed me. But anyway, I'm glad I made this video. I don't know how many people watch this, but hey, I'm still putting it out there. It's okay. But guys, that's how I would do the next 12 years of the MCU. So tell me in the comments down below, how do you feel about this? How would you do the next 12 years? I want to know. I don't care how crazy you get. I want to see and read it all. It's fine. You can have even freaking Howard the Duck, which I didn't, but still, which honestly Howard the Duck could be in the Cosmic Saga, because isn't he like a cosmic character too? Whatever. Anyway, he was in the first Guardian, so that's that. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I have to say for this video. I'm gonna rest my mouth after this because I've been talking for way too long. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. My name's Akil, otherwise known as the Comic Director, and I'm signing out.